Well, hey everybody, welcome to Arrow JM Farms. I'm Jess. So odds are if you made it to this video, you may be looking into building high tensile fence. And so odds are you may have stumbled across some of Greg Judy's videos. I've been watching Greg Judy for a while, and I know he has several videos on building high tensile fence. And so I decided to try his method. And so far, I like it. It's simple and quick, and I know it's going to be effective because he uses it on several hundred head of cattle in his grazing operation. So just a little background here on why I am putting up this high tensile fence. Basically, I have a field here, and it's behind the camera, but you'll be able to see it during the video. It's about 20 to 25 acres, and it's a multi-use field. I primarily use it to cut hay off of, but actually in the spring, if the grass is good enough, I will graze it, but then I will pull the cows off quick enough to be able to get some regrowth in order to cut hay. But the primary grazing I use it for is in the fall, and that's for stockpile. Now this is a warm season field mostly. During the spring it will be ryegrass, but after that first cutting of hay, I cut the ryegrass off of it. So it is primarily warm season, and in this area that's going to be Bermuda grass. There's a very small amount of bahia in here, and also some native warm season grasses. I believe it's purple top tridens, grease grass. I think there's a couple different names for it. I actually really like it for hay, and the cows love it as far as the grazing goes. But again, that's mostly during the fall. I will graze it for stockpile. I will let them graze it, and that will cut down on my hay feeding. Now, used to in the past, I would just let them in here and let them have it. And I know that's not going to be as good of a utilization as it could be if I strip grazed it. So I'm putting in this high tensile fence here because my neighbor has actually cleared out this east and north fence line. He's rebuilding the fence. And so I don't have a fence here, but I want to get the cows in here to be able to strip graze it. But in order to do that, I need to put in this high tensile fence. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm actually standing here at a spot where I'm going to put a gate in. I'm just going to use a poly braid rope for that. But I'll go into all this in more detail, and you can see exactly how I done it, which is going to be very close to how Greg Judy done it. But yeah, I'll go over everything, show you exactly everything I used, how I terminated the ends. Really nothing special. Maybe only one or two really special pieces or tools and pieces of equipment that you'll need if you decide to do this. Other than that, there's really nothing fancy about it. So let me get this thing finished up. We'll come back. I'll show you in more detail, and maybe this will help you decide if this is something that you want to do also. So y'all stick around. Alright, I'm standing here in the section where I'm going to have a gate, and I'm waiting on some poly rope to come in that I ordered from PowerFlex, and when that gets here I'll finish this gate. But I kind of just have it prepped right now. When the gate gets here I'll finish this. I'll just crimp this back like that, and that'll be where I tie my rope onto. So as you can see here, I'm using 1.25" fiberglass sucker rod. Ordered this from Ken Cove. All this is kind of a mix of orders from Ken Cove and PowerFlex. Obviously the spinning jenny is from PowerFlex. Really like that spinning jenny. That's my first time to use it. It's stable, and I did a really long pull on this second pull here, way back up in that back corner, and I'll get a distance on that because I'm not sure exactly what it is. Both these pulls together should have been around 2,400 feet. This is definitely a shorter pull here. I got it tensioned up. And again, there's going to be a gate here, and I'll just be able to hook my gate handle on right there, and that'll power up this other section here. Well, actually, I'm going to put power on this end because it's the longer length. But this section, since it's shorter, I just tensioned it with a ratchet tensioner, and it's down on the other end. This section here, I just tied both ends off with a hangman's knot, if you call it that. That's just the wraps around, real tight wraps. And I'm going to use a daisy tensioner in the middle of it. I'm going to kind of guess where I think the middle is, and I'll put that daisy tensioner in there and tension it. So a few special tools that I think you might need. Obviously you're going to need a spinning jenny, or they call them a payout spinner, spinning jenny, something like that. Definitely recommend this one. The only thing is you need to get the brake set, which is this top bolt right here. You'll need to set that, and it took me a few tries to get it set. You want it easy enough to spin off that it doesn't fight you, but you want it tight enough that it stops whenever you stop. And that's a little bit of trial and error, but it's not hard to do. If you don't get it set right, you'll have some of this unwind on you, and it'll just cause you problems. You'll have to come back ever so often and fix it. But if you get this brake set right, it won't be a problem. And like I said, I pulled this long pull here today and didn't have any single issue with it once I got the brake set. The other thing is, with high tensile wire, definitely recommend a good set of cutters. These are the Knipex. These are actually like a mini bolt cutter, but they cut this high tensile wire like butter. And I believe I got these off of Amazon. I'll throw a link down in the description if you want to check some out. Will probably be an affiliate link, but make very little and it doesn't cost you any extra. So definitely a set of lineman's pliers are handy for just general bending and twisting the soft wire. Much like Greg Judy, I just drilled holes into my sucker rod and then twisted the soft wire, ran the soft wire through those holes and twisted it around the high tensile just to hold it in place. There's no tension or pressure on the soft wire. It's just holding the high tensile wire at the height that I want it on these posts. I did go with a 30-inch wire height. That's for no other reason than that's just what I do. 28 would work, 29 would work. I went with 30 because that's pretty much what I set all my poly fences to, and most of my fence posts are about 30 inches on my step ends. I have my Energizer, but I don't have it set up yet. When I get this tension, I'll get that set up. It's a new Energizer that I haven't used yet. It's a new brand. I mean, not a new brand, but it's new to me. They're actually made in Oklahoma. It's called Fence Master. If you have any experience with them, put in a comment down below and let me know about it. This will be my first time to use it. It is a solar because I don't have power back here, but it is supposed to be pretty hot, so that'll be interesting to try that one out. So yeah, let me finish this fence, and then I'll come back and do some final thoughts and show you some more detail. Well, all right, I just tensioned that daisy tensioner, and just kind of doing a once over on the fence. So I knew that I was going to have a few high spots and low spots. That's why I went ahead and tensioned the fence first, and then I'll come back. And I don't have enough posts. I actually ordered some more from PowerFlex. They were running a sale on a 1-inch fiberglass. So I purchased a bunch of those. Those should be here next week sometime. And I will come by and fix some of these high spots and pull those down. I'll show you the difference. Like I said, this is really hilly terrain. And so there's that wire is at 30 inches. Now if we go up here, this little high spot, this dip, there's a dip right here. It's actually going downhill, plus there's a dip. So we're at about 42 there, 42 and a half. So I will throw a 1-inch fiberglass rod in there, pull that down. And my one end is just right up in there in the woods. There's a one of my border fences. And so I've just got a 1.25 inch rod stuck up there. Just tied it off, just dead ended it with the hangman's knot. And one thing on all these soft wire twists that you want to do, I don't even want to touch that with my bare hand because I'll get fiberglass in it, but the main thing is that you make these where this wire can move back and forth. See how this post moves? And that wire is sliding inside of that smooth wire. I really didn't have any problems tensioning this fence because I made sure that all these soft wire twists that I put on here were not holding this wire so tight that it wouldn't slide. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And that's another point. Another reason why I'm using this high tensile fence is we have a bunch of deer. And any of my poly fences that I put up, I always usually end up getting knocked down by deer at some point. So hopefully this holds up a lot better. And having those soft wire twists where this high tensile can move inside of them will hopefully help prevent the high tensile from breaking or binding up whenever a deer does get into it, if they do. I did buy some posts off of Ken Cove for going in between my corners. I think these are 1/2 inch and they already have pre-drilled holes. And I use these also for marking the drill point on my 1.25 inch posts. Let me show you. So I marked that hole right there. As you might have seen in some of the footage there, all I had to do is I just use it as a template, you know, kind of like a story pole type deal. Just set that on the ground, and that was my 30-inch height right there. And then that allowed me to mark it with the bit, and I just take that away and finish drilling that hole. And just kept from having to mark each post. So that was pretty handy for that. And the other thing is, I can count 8 holes from the bottom, mark that hole, and if I drive it to that point right there, that makes this top hole dead on 30 inches. So that worked out perfect. And so that's what I've been doing. If I find a spot that's sagging in the fence, just a little too much, I will drive one of these posts down to that mark. And then that top hole is 30 inches, and I just hold the high tensile wire in there with the soft wire twist. Very simple. And I think that's going to work because all it's doing is just holding the wire up. Pretty much all of the tension is on the bigger 1.25 inch posts. So just wanted to show you that real quick. You can see the daisy tensioner. And I picked what I thought might be the center point of the fence. Now, I tightened it with this 1/2-inch drive ratchet, and I got it done, but it was definitely not as easy, I feel like, if I would have had the actual tool. So I'm probably going to go ahead and invest in the proper tool for these daisy tensioners, because I do like it. They work really good. And it's better than splitting the fence and using one of the ratchet tensioners. Alright, as you can see there, I got the gate done. Finally got my power flex rope in there, and I just got it hooked on that. I really like these handles. I've used them before, but they hold up really well. And the way I did it down here, also similar to Greg's. I'm trying not to touch this wire because it's hot now. I just had one of those open end crimps and just brought it back on itself and crimped it there. Wrapped my rope around it a couple times, and I used one of these rope connectors. Thought I'd try one of those instead of just tying a knot there, but you know, knot will work. That was only, that wasn't very expensive, so just thought I'd try it out. I did come through and brush hog. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not. I brush hogged where I knew I was going to be putting this high tensile at. So it's a pretty wide path through there. Shouldn't be any weeds on it. If there's going to be any weed pressure, it's going to be on my poly wires, because there are a lot of seed heads that could potentially touch these. Ow, that's hot. Gotta watch those little tails right there coming off these handles. Popped my hand there. So yeah, it's working, I'd say. Almost 5,000. So. Yeah, I'd like it to be hotter, but I mean, this is a solar charger. So yeah, there's the gate. I've got the rest of this hot, and so I originally planned on putting my energizer on this side of the gate here, because this is a much longer length, but I think this will be fine, and this way I can pull up down there and check it if I need to, make sure it's still clicking. Here is one end I want to show you, and this is where I use the ratchet tensioner. And this is on my short leg. It's about a 300-yard stretch, I believe, and the other end of this is going up around. It kind of makes a 90 right there, and that's the other end is the gate up there. So yeah, I just wanted to show you the ratchet style tensioner, and like I said, these are okay. I mean, that daisy tensioner was pretty quick, and I liked it pretty well. but here's the other style. All right, well here is the Fence Master energizer that I was telling you about. And you know, so far I don't have any long-term use with it, but so far I like it. It's doing a pretty good job. My fence isn't quite as hot as what I think it should be, but I think I need to add another ground rod. But that's a video for another day. I may do one on actually just troubleshooting energizers. Just wanted to show you the Fence Master here, and this is the 12 volt version. But so yeah, if you're you know, looking at solar energizers, check these guys out. Well, all right, there's how I constructed a single strand high tensile fence, electric high tensile fence. And yeah, I mean, really nothing bad to say about it. I mean, like I said, I used the fiberglass rod posts, drilled holes in those. And if you're wondering, I used a 9/64 drill bit. You can use a 1-inch and an 1/8 inch drill bit, but I find that, you know, that hole's just a little bit too small, and sometimes if your wire's bent up, it's a little bit hard to push through that hole. But 9/64 is you know, it's just a hair bigger, and so it works out a little bit better, a little bit easier to get that wire through there. But yeah, I can see that I'm probably going to be doing more of this fence in the future, just because it's so quick to put up, and I plan on doing a lot more rotational grazing. I'll probably do more of a total grazing type system, similar like Jim Elizondo, just because I think that would be a better fit for our operation. But you know, if that's something that you may be interested in, be sure and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. And so yeah, I pretty much did copy, you know, Greg Judy on this one. I just want to give credit where credit is due. But now I know why he uses it. I mean, yeah, it goes in quick. You know, some posts, single strand of wire, and you're in business. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up. I think I covered everything. I think I showed you everything. I did finally get my 1-inch posts in, and there's, you know, nothing fancy there either. I drilled those the same as I did the 1.25-inch posts, and just put those in any low spots or high spots that I seen, and just kind of even the fence out a little bit. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. I think that'll wrap this one up. If I didn't cover something and you have a question on anything, don't hesitate to drop the question in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer it. I actually enjoyed this project pretty good, so hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Y'all have a great day. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.